Impact, we're dedicated to helping people embrace and implement They Ask You Answer as a way of doing business. And if you're familiar with They Ask You Answer, you also know that it's our obligation to educate you on the potential problems that you might face.
We have a problem.
In our years working with clients, we've realized that there are some key problems teams often face when implementing this framework, especially in the first 6 months. We're going to talk about each one in this video and what you can do to avoid them. First problem, resistance to They Ask You Answer as a company-wide initiative. They Ask You Answer is a business philosophy in which you strive to be the best and most helpful teachers in the world at what you do. If your customers have any question, issue, concern, or worry, you know about it and you're willing to address it honestly and thoroughly. Your business is obsessed with the way your buyer thinks.
That's all I think about.
Now get this, when I was just talking about They Ask You Answer, I intentionally left out the word marketing. Why? Because the biggest misconception about They Ask You Answer is that it's just another fancy marketing thingamabob.
But just trust me, this'll work.
But this is an everyone thing. Any employee in your company that ever interacts with your clients, directly or indirectly, can and should contribute to a company's They Ask You Answer initiative. Who are your people that interact with your clients the most? For many companies, it's salespeople, account managers, and customer service representatives, not marketers. That's why company-wide buy-in to They Ask You Answer is so critical. In order for your content and marketing efforts to be successful, you need input from sales, leadership, subject matter experts, and anyone else who has insight into how to educate your prospects. It's a big job, and many hands make light work. The last thing you want to have happen is for anyone, especially a member of the sales team, to think that it's not their responsibility. Second problem, struggling to produce enough content. In order to be successful with They Ask You Answer, you've got to produce at least 3 pieces of educational written content each week on an ongoing basis. Why 3 pieces? That's what the data from our most successful clients has shown will produce hockey stick growth when it comes to growing qualified traffic, which converts into leads and sales. If that's not happening, you're just not gonna see great results with They Ask You Answer. We found the most successful way to do this is to have at least one person within the organization own the content creation process. In most cases, we call this a content manager. Now, this person doesn't necessarily have to create each piece of content, but they do need to own responsibility for content being published. Everyone can help in the contribution to content marketing, and the content manager can just help everyone stay on schedule. Third problem, perfectionism. A lot of people will fail on that previous point because of this problem right here.
All it has to be is perfect.
When getting started, your content may not be absolutely perfect, competing with the New York Times. And that's okay. Sometimes, to get into the flow of things, you just need to ship it and move on. You can always come back and improve it later. And honestly, historically optimizing your content to keep it relevant is something that we recommend. Whether it's video or written content, just work with what you got. Get the content out there however you need to do it, see how the people react or how it performs, and then use that data to make it better next time. Create videos with your smartphone and a tripod for now. Have whoever can make the time to write blog posts for you until you get that content manager hired. Do whatever it takes. Because at the end of the day, that's what's gonna determine your success or your failure. Fourth problem, fear of change. Change can be hard. It's like when you get married and you have to get rid of that couch you've had for years and you hold near and dear to your heart because you found it on the side of the road when you needed it most. But just like that crusty couch, you might need to clear some space in your business to succeed with They Ask You Answer. For a lot of teams, this could mean things like cold calling, email marketing, attending trade shows, radio or print ads, and more. If those things are working for you, you don't have to get rid of them all. But a lot of times teams just do these things because it's what they've always done, not because it actually gets measurable results. It's time to shake things up. Now I get it, when you suggest being honest and thorough in addressing customer questions, even if it means saying things like, hey, this may not be the right fit for you. You might face some resistance. After all, marketing and sales culture has long been about doing whatever it takes to close the deal.
Always be closing.
That change can be super scary, especially if you're the one that owns the business, but it's necessary to build the trust that They Ask You Answer requires. Problem 5, fear of radical transparency. The most successful examples of They Ask You Answer companies are those who have embraced education as a key pillar of their company culture. But here's the thing, education involves talking about your competitors and letting people know when they aren't the right fit to work with you.
Yikes.
That sounds scary.
These are some things that can be pretty tough to do, especially if you're not used to it. But doing those things, it's like having a secret weapon, because the more quickly and efficiently people are able to educate themselves about your product or service, the sooner they find out how qualified they are. And guess what? Salespeople are 10,000 times more effective when they know if someone is worth their time or not. And that is a real stat I made from my head. On the other hand, when you educate customers, it helps build that sweet, sweet trust. And trust is the fundamental building block of all businesses. And our final problem, number 6, ineffective ROI tracking. Now the last one here, it's not the least one here. We gotta track that oh so precious ROI, or return on investment. Now at Impact, we and our awesome clients swear by HubSpot for this task. But hey, don't stress if HubSpot isn't your jam. The key is finding a tracking system that's effective, no matter what tool you choose. Companies that are diving into They Ask You Answer are putting a lot of time and energy into content. So what's the point of all that if you don't even know how it's growing your business? Your sales team might start to question the point of contributing to the effort at all. Or worst case of all scenarios, a senior executive might pull the plug on the whole program altogether since they don't see where that ROI is coming from.
Shut it down. Shut it down.
An example of successful ROI tracking could be as simple as calculating the best performing blog posts each month, not just in terms of traffic, but also in leads. An even better example would be taking that process a step further and tracking the ROI of your content in terms of leads that turned into customers. Really good ROI reporting can calculate the value of content down to the dollar. It's simply not good enough to post and pray. You've got to be able to measure and track the performance of your marketing, and there's really no way around it. And there they are, the 6 most common problems teams face when starting with They Ask You Answer. The good news is, all 6 of these problems, they're 100% possible to overcome. Knowing about these ahead of time will help you avoid them on your journey to They Ask You Answer mastery. If you need any help in your own mastery journey, feel free to book a call with us today.